guys, I'm really excited to present to you the next pattern review that I did, and if you can see by my face, I am so excited about this one. I'm just tickled so much. So I hope that y'all love it just as much as I do. I live in Minnesota right now. It's February 24th, and there are 8 inches of snow on the floor. It's freezing, and I'm obviously having spring-itis because in New Orleans it is warm. So here comes spring. So the next couple of things that I've done, if you can see a little sneak peek for next week, are all spring related, and not consciously in any sort of way, but spring is clearly on my mind. So here it goes. So my second review for y'all is still with Brownie Goose, who does the patterns. So again, on Etsy, Brownie Goose, you can Google it, and she has a number of patterns. And this one is the Romper. So it's called the Summer Romper, and a pattern brought to you exclusively by BG Originals, so Brownie Goose. And this is what it looks like. So this is the front of the instruction pamphlet. And it isn't this little girl, so I think this is her daughter. I'm not sure, but she's adorable. But if you can see, it's just this little tiny romper with a little tiny bow. And it printed out, so the printout is very small. It's just 4 pieces of paper printed out. And the difference between this particular pattern and other ones that she does is that it only goes up to size 4, which I was a little disappointed in because I had intended to make this for my niece Lucia, who turned 6 in April. So instead I made it for my niece Lucia, who's 2. I'm sorry, my niece Isla, who's 2. Forgive me, Kate. Anyway, so let me go ahead and show you what it looks like, finished product. And I wish I had a dress form, so I guess my next big purchase for this is going to be a dress form, so I can show you what it looks like, because I just don't think the hanger does it justice. So here it is, the little romper. Okay, so many favorite parts about this particular pattern. The detail is pretty cool because on the little shorts, there's a little cutout hole, and then of course the rompers, they bunched up, so this looks much longer, but the top will again be kind of bunched up at the top, and then on the other side is a little keyhole cutout. This here is a casing that's sewn on top. This was a little difficult because you're supposed to use 1-inch elastic, but when I tried to get the 1-inch elastic in there, it didn't go. So I ended up using a 1/2-inch elastic, which I kind of like because it won't be so tight around her waist or so thick. It'll be a little bit more pliable. So I used a 1/2-inch elastic on the waistband rather than an inch. I did use an inch for the top, and I have to say this is super cute because it's got the little ruffle. The way you do the casing, it has a ruffle, which I love. And getting the elastic in here was not my favorite part about the whole thing because the elastic is very thick. It's the non-roll kind, so it doesn't roll. And it anyway, it's just difficult to get in, but it's not that difficult. And then the little halter tie, which is bias, fake bias tape, essentially, is what she calls it, which it is. It's the same way I did the Halloween patterns that are one of my first posts on the blog, where you take a 2-inch piece of fabric, fold it in half, and then you fold the sides in 2, and then you fold it again. So 4 folds. Very simple, very methodical, but it just makes the cutest little ribbon ties, and so I just love it. I'm beginning to repeat the words. This is my favorite, but they're all my favorite, I think, so far. I just love her patterns. This design is by Jennifer. This fabric is by Jennifer Paginelli. I hope I said her name right. I didn't Google it to see what the particular pattern was. I got this actually at a wholesale shop. Ooh, the sun is not so great on this at all. I got this at a wholesale shop for $4 a yard. I got a lot of it, so I'm thinking about making several of them in different sizes. and then this is just the coordinating fabric as well. So the summer romper, here you go. All right, so a few call outs on the pattern that at least that I had a few difficulties with in her instructions. I guess my one critique about the pages is that sometimes simple things are drawn out so much that I overcomplicate them and read into it too much, and I wish I would just go back and say, okay, this is simple. You cut out a piece of paper, cut out a piece of fabric, fold it in half, and you're done. That kind of thing. So on the cutout shorts, and I'm going to post a second video where I was actually sewing it, and I physically showed you, but it was very confusing because the cutout of the shorts, you want to make sure that you align the bottom of the shorts to sew and not the top. The way I read it was to align the top, or the way at least I assumed was to align the top, but in the picture it didn't match up. So you actually are going to align the bottom and then sew the bottom crotch area. And so that part was confusing to me. I figured it out, didn't have to use a seam ripper. And so I have in my head this ongoing count of how many times I use a seam ripper for a particular project. Last night's project was 5, far too many. This one I didn't have near as many, but I wasn't physically counting at the time. But hopefully I'll get to the point where I don't have to use it so much. The seam ripper is becoming my best friend, however. And that's it. So once again, I'm going to hold up this again just so you can see. I thought this was a wonderful pattern, and I will be using it very, very often. And I hope that you go to her site and purchase it, because I again, think it's a wonderful pattern. And it's, oh, this sound's going to mess me up like crazy. Well, you'll have to Google it. That's all I got. Early morning on Sunday. So I hope that you enjoyed the review, and we'll look forward to posting some more soon. Happy Sunday, and we'll talk later. Bye.